Technology etiquette in American business. What is the appropriate way for me to use my cell phone in business?
Cell phone ringing, going off at inappropriate times is the biggest complaint we have in business etiquette today. And in the old days, people thought etiquette was all about dining manners. And then cell phones came along, and then they realized that technology etiquette was as important as anything they could learn. And yet, we're still learning. Cell phones going off in the workplace, going off in restaurants, that's a big complaint. Certainly business meetings are inappropriate. If you don't have your cell phone on vibrate, you're making a big mistake because it does break rapport. Some people are very proud that people are trying to contact them. It's ego. And they'll answer their cell phone regardless of what kind of conversation is going on. And it's inappropriate. Anything that breaks rapport keeps people from trusting you.
How can the misuse of my cell phone affect my business relationships?
Anything that breaks rapport keeps people from trusting you. And if you think of examples of people that you know who constantly grab their cell phone, it breaks rapport with you, as if to say, you're not as important as the person, whoever this is, on the other end of the phone. And again, it's all about breaking rapport. So keep your cell phone on vibrate, and then when you have time, you can pick up your messages.
What if I'm expecting an important phone call on my cell phone during a meeting or business meal?
Let me give you a good example. If I'm going into a meeting and I'm expecting a call from the director of training for Microsoft again, and if I walk into a meeting and say, I'm expecting a very important call, you don't need to tell people who it's from. And it may come during this meeting. If you don't mind, I'll check my messages. I'll keep it on vibrate. And if this call comes in, I'll excuse myself for a moment and be right back. You can also do that at a dining table with people in a business meeting. And then when the call comes in at the dining table, you excuse yourself. Go somewhere so that no one hears a one-sided phone conversation, which is the second biggest complaint we have about cell phone etiquette today, is those one-sided telephone conversations, which are inappropriate. Go find someplace quiet that no one will hear your one-sided telephone conversation. And when you come back to the table, you don't ask for forgiveness or apologize. Instead, you thank the people at the dining table for letting you step away. Thank you for letting me step away for a moment. And you don't interrupt the flow of conversation by telling them about anything about the call. It's private.
Is it appropriate to discuss company business on my cell phone?
You have to remember that company confidences are open to anyone. Cell phones are not private. It takes little less than a baby monitor to check cell phones and hear what people are saying. Company secrets, corporate espionage is one of the biggest growing factors in business today. And to keep company secrets off a cell phone is a good idea. And anything that comes out of your cell phone, your fax machine or your computer, is considered company property. And if you give away company secrets on any of these things, your company is liable for your legal defense. So be very careful because it's not your property. And if you get caught giving away company secrets, it's tantamount to being fired. They have grounds for serious repercussions.
What is the etiquette for instant messaging and texting in business?
Be careful who's on your buddy list. Don't walk into a conversation if you're texting someone. Ask if it's a good time to ask them a question. People are busy, and one of the things that I think is one of the most important things to the productivity of the American workplace today is to allow people the privacy they need and the quiet to get things done. And we don't have that anymore. It's a luxury to have an hour of uninterrupted time in the workplace. And although text messaging is a great way to get information, it's intrusive, but it's never going away.
How is a proper business email constructed?
The first thing that I'd like to say is you begin and end an email. You don't just send an email with no salutation at the top or bottom. In other words, I write dear and person's name and then a colon, not a comma. Dear and their name and a colon. And then have a message. And then in my sig line, which you can set automatically, it says, warmest personal regards, your friend, Phyllis Davis. And then how to contact me at the bottom in a block quote of my company and email address. But to just send an email without a salutation or a sign-off People are such in a rapid mode. I get one-word emails from people. I just, it's missing the point of trying to create and maintain rapport. And it's so easy to do. Just create your SIG line so it signs your name and just type in dear and their name. It doesn't take any more time, but it does create deeper rapport because it looks like you've taken the time and you respect them enough to send a formal email.
Is it appropriate for my assistant to place calls for me?
People in senior management often do have their administrative assistant place a call for them because their time's limited. They're the ones who book and arrange calls, and I think that's appropriate for people in senior management.
What is good phone etiquette when calling someone in business?
Anytime I call someone and they answer their own phone, I ask, am I calling at a good time? Or do you have a moment? Or because people can be in a meeting. And it's easy to break rapport with someone if they're trying to get you off their phone.
Why is it sometimes better etiquette to communicate by phone rather than email?
Because you get a lot more when you make a phone call. You get body analog. For example, on the phone, if you got an email from someone that said, call me on Friday at 2 o'clock, or be in my office Friday at 2 o'clock, you don't have the body analog. You don't have the voice tone that you would have if somebody called and said, hi, be in my office at Friday, 2 o'clock. See you then, bye. You can tell if they don't sound angry. There's a lot more you can determine by a phone call message. It's easier to create trust and rapport on the phone.
What is proper business etiquette when leaving a voicemail message?
When I leave a voicemail message, I tell people what time I can be reached. I'll be in my office after 4 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Please try and call me at that time. Any of those days, I look forward to hearing from you then. So we have to tell people. Now, leaving a voicemail message, if I may talk about technology etiquette in terms of leaving a voicemail message, to avoid playing what is considerably called phone tag, it irritates everyone. I leave my name at the top and bottom of a voicemail message. Hi, this is Phyllis Davis, and then I'll leave my number here, and then I give a brief reason for my call. Again, my name is Phyllis Davis, and my number is, and then I give my number at the end of the call. And I look forward to hearing from you. So if you leave your name at the front and the end of a voicemail message, they can push 1 at the end of the message and get it at the top of the message again if they didn't get it at the bottom half. Telephone etiquette and leaving voicemail messages is very important because if you don't give a very clear reason why you're calling and give a time frame for a response, people won't get back to you. So you have to create some sense of urgency in the call and a good time for people to reach you, and you'll have a higher incidence for people to return your calls rather than dismissing them.
How long is it appropriate to keep someone on hold?
Well, research has shown that 20 seconds is about average that people are willing to stay on hold without someone coming back and saying, they're still on the other line, would you like to continue to hold? Or may I have your phone number so that I can have them call you back when they're off the phone? Or I can't find the information I'm looking for. Can I have your name and number and I'll call you when I find it, rather than have you hold.
What is the etiquette standard for how long it should take to return a phone call?
In high levels of management and money management, it's 24 hours. Some companies that I work with say the same day. And I think it's appropriate, even if you can't return the call, to have someone return it for you and find out what's going on. Not to return a call. I don't even understand what that's about. My mind doesn't even, I can't even get that. It's so rude that it irks me terribly to have that happen. And as far as returning an email, there's no reason you can't return an email within 24 hours.
Why is it beneficial to meet people in person from time to time?
There are many cues and clues that people give us, that from eye accessing patterns to some of the simplest body language. If someone touches the back of their neck like this, they've conceded to what you're trying to tell them. They're just looking for a way to tell you. So when anyone ever does that, stop talking and let them tell you what they want. If they touch their mouth or lip, it's not that they're lying. It's that they're telling you something they don't believe.